Hey folks, we are here to simplify this expression. Now to simplify, you have to realize what's going on. We're subtracting fractions, fraction, fraction, subtraction. To subtract fractions, you learned back in 6th grade that you have to have a common denominator. This has a denominator of 3 and that one has 2v squared plus 8v, not common denominators. So to find the common denominators, we're going to have to factor those. Well, 3 doesn't factor, but this 3 is just a 3, but 2v squared plus 8v has a GCF. It has a GCF of 2v times, then, v plus 4. So let's look at the denominators again. We have a factor of 3, we have a factor of 2v, we have a factor of v plus 4. So altogether, our common denominator, to be able to subtract these two fractions, has to include all three. A factor of 3, a factor of 2v, a factor of v plus 4. So we'll write those on each of the three fractions. 3 on both. 2v on both. v plus 4 on both. That'll be our common denominator. Now you have to go back. This already has a factor of 3. Now I also have a factor of 2v and v plus 4. So the v minus 4 that's already there has to also be multiplied by 2v and v plus 4. That's your fraction rules. So the 2v that is now in the denominator has to be in the numerator. The v plus 4 that's in the denominator now has to also be in the numerator. And we already had v minus 4 that's still there. Let's do the same thing on the second fraction. I already have a 2v, there's a 2v. I already have a v plus 4, there's a v plus 4. The only thing new is that 3. So only that 3 has to be multiplied in the numerator times the 2v that's already there. So times 2v up there. Before you go canceling, because that's what you want to do, you want to say cancel, cancel. No. Multiply the numerators out and then subtract. Our whole goal was to have that common denominator there. So don't go canceling things out. We're going to multiply out this numerator. First, you FOIL. FOIL v plus 4 times v minus 4. That makes v squared minus 16. I still have to then multiply that by 2v over the common denominator. I'm not going to write it again. Minus, we're going to multiply out 3 times 2v, nice and easy. That makes 6v over the common denominator. So this denominator does not need to be multiplied together. Leave it all factored out. That's what would be written here, but I'm lazy and I'm not going to write it. Now your goal, because you multiplied them out, is to subtract. So let's subtract, well, you know what, forget it. I have to multiply this out still, don't I? Duh. So that makes 2v cubed, maybe cubed, minus 16v over the common denominator, minus 6v over the common denominator. Now we can subtract. Now we're going to do the subtraction. That makes 2v cubed minus, oh shoot, go back. What's 2v times negative 16? 2v times negative 16 is not negative 16v. Another duh. I need to go back and get some sleep. That's 32v. So when I subtract negative 32v minus 6v, now I get negative 38v. Over, and now I'm going to back up and write this common denominator out, which was 3 times 2v times v plus 4. I have them in one fraction, just have to simplify now. Factor out the numerator. What does this have in common? A 2v. Factor that GCF out, you get 2v times v squared minus 19 over 3 times 2v times v plus 4, and now you can reduce it. What can you reduce? Well, there's a v on both numerator and denominator. There's a factor of 2 in both the numerator and denominator. That's all that's going to reduce. I have a v squared minus 19 left in the numerator over, and you can leave it in factored form, 3 times v plus 4. If you want to multiply it, go ahead, but that is my final answer.